There will come a moment in your life when you stop and wonder, what if I had taken that chance? What if you had said yes instead of no? Acted instead of hesitated, chosen growth over comfort? One path leads to growth, learning, discomfort, but ultimately a better version of yourself. The other path leads to comfort, routine, safety, and eventually stagnation. Change is not easy, but the pain of regret is far worse than the discomfort of change. Not dramatic events, but quiet choices we make every day that seem small, harmless, even rational. Skipping that workout, putting off that difficult conversation, not applying for that opportunity. Slowly, those small decisions become our destiny. And the terrifying truth, it starts with awareness, with making one new decision, taking one bold step, and repeating it. Consistency beats intensity. A tiny change, done daily, compounds into massive transformation. Most people don't realize it until it's too late. If that moment hasn't come yet, it will. The familiar feels safe, even if it's slowly killing your ambition. The unknown feels dangerous, even if it's where your breakthrough lives. But that wiring, it can be rewired. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change itself, proves that transformation is always possible. You are never stuck unless you choose to be. The real question is, when it does, will you smile because you changed when it mattered? Or will you regret forever that you didn't? Every day you wake up, you're standing at a crossroads. We often wait. We wait for the perfect time, the right moment, the green light from the universe. But let me tell you something real. That perfect moment, it doesn't exist. The right time is not a date on the calendar, it's a decision in your mind. The most successful, fulfilled, and powerful people didn't wait until they were ready. They moved before they were comfortable. They changed when staying the same became the real risk. Most people aren't suffering because they took a risk. They're suffering because they didn't. Because they let fear win. Because they talked themselves out of action. Because they kept telling themselves next week, next month, someday. But someday isn't the day of the week. Someday is the place where dreams go to die. You see, there are silent killers in life. Psychologically, humans are wired to resist change. Our brains are designed to keep us safe, not fulfilled. Change doesn't require you to flip your life upside down in a day. Here's what most people underestimate. Time is not unlimited. You don't get a second chance at this day, this week, this year. When you stop treating life like it's a rehearsal, everything changes. You start making different decisions. You stop wasting time. You stop tolerating mediocrity. And that one shift in mindset, it can ignite a chain reaction in your life. Every day you delay a needed change, you're paying the price in lost potential. Imagine where you could be in 1 year if you started today. Now imagine how far behind you'll feel a year from now. If you don't know whatever it is, you know you need to change your health, your mindset, your career, your relationships, your habits. Start now. But by then, it didn't happen overnight. One decision right now can start a domino effect. You get your finances in order. You learn a new skill. You change your routine. You walk into a room differently. And that energy, it multiplies. People notice. Opportunities show up. Confidence builds. And before you know it, your entire identity shifts. You earned it. You fought for it. You chose it again and again. You don't need permission. You don't need perfection. You just need to decide. Not because you're ready, but because you deserve better. You are capable of more. And you were not born to just survive. You were born to evolve. Not like this. Not with this clarity. Not with this urgency. Life is asking you to level up. To stop shrinking. Or at the beginning of your biggest regret, be brave enough to become who you were meant to be. Because comfort is tempting, but greatness only comes to those who choose courage over convenience. To stop pretending you have forever. Urgency is a superpower. Talk to the elderly. The most common regrets they share aren't about things they did. It whispers you had the chance, and you let it go. They're about things they didn't do. They didn't chase that dream. They didn't tell that person how they felt. They didn't travel, speak up, or take the leap when they had the chance. When you say no to what drains you, and yes to what fuels you. When you take one more step, even when you're tired. Real change is built in the shadows, long before it's visible to the world. Not your parents, not your friends, not your friends. You are the author of your story. And every day you wake up, you're writing a new page. Make sure it's one you'll be proud to read back. Regret has a heavy weight. And unlike failure, which teaches you and strengthens you, regret just haunts you. It reminds you of what could have been. So let this be a wake-up call. Not next month, not next year. Nobody is going to do it for you. Real change is rarely loud. It often starts in quiet moments, when you choose to get up early, when you decide to walk instead of sit. And then one day, someone looks at you and says, "You've changed." The truth is, most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. Change is not about fixing something broken. It's about stepping into the version of you that has been waiting to emerge. If you don't change now, you may never get this moment again. So take the leap, make the call, start the journey. The clock is ticking, your future is calling. And one day, you'll look back at this very moment? Will it be the start of your transformation? Choose wisely, because your life depends on it.